Hi, Therapist Paul back with another vlog. I want to talk about change. You know, a lot of people have a lot of anxiety when it comes to things changing. I'm no different. We're in the middle of a lot of changes in my life, going from one career to a different career, position, different path. I go from, one house to another house, or buying a house, or not from renting a house. Change is the one thing that is on a constant basis in our world. We watched a video this morning on YouTube of a father who put a picture of his little girl from the time she was like 3 weeks old until she's 14, and all the different stages of her hair and her face, and she had scar here and a little bow here, and it just changed constantly over the 14 years. I've got 2 kids. They constantly have changed. They've gone from the little ankle biters to a 16, almost 17-year-old son to a 13-year-old daughter. They're changing. My life is changing around them because they're changing. Life is in constant change. The problem with that is humans don't like change. We would prefer if our kids stayed the same certain age, or my job never changed, I went to work and it was always comfortably the same, or people didn't die, people didn't get older, this beard wasn't always quite so dashingly gray. No, it was quite dark black, like this patch here and this patch here, not like the rest of it. Things change. This forehead wasn't quite so foreheady. But you get the idea that we all change. But how do we deal with change? As a counselor, I deal with people who are forced with change every day. Retirement, family members' illness, children growing up, disobedience from where they were compliant to now they're challenging the authority. Change is what probably drives my field, is what brings most people into therapy. Change is part of our everyday existence. I go to work the same way. It's about an hour drive. But every day I go, it's not exactly the same. There's like wrecks which change the road signs. One day the sign's there, next day it's not. There are construction barrels that change the direction and the flow of traffic. And my plan is now changed because they put their things in position. So there's 3 types of change. There's the change that is life-altering. Sicknesses, family's death, unexpected events, things of that nature. Those are changes which cause traumatic reaction. You didn't expect it, or even if you do expect it, it's still, once the event happens, you've got to deal with the changes. You've got to learn a new process in life. So there's the dramatic change, the life-triggered change. Then there's the slow change, like children growing up. Your children grow up, you get older, that's another slow change. Those are things that you see coming, you are there for every minute of the change, but then you have those moments of, oh my gosh, my kid is 17. Oh my gosh, my kid has his license. Oh my gosh, I got gray in my hair. I wish that's where my gray was. There's just the slow process of change that life gives us. There's the traumatic, there's the slow process, and then there's the fear that comes with the other 2. The fear of change. I know this. Humans are very much in the now. I know what I'm doing now. I'm comfortable with what I'm doing now. I'm comfortable with my 6-year-old. What do I do when he's 14? I'm comfortable with my 8-year-old. What do I do when he's 10? I'm comfortable with what I am now. Humans like what they know. They fear what they don't know, and that's where the trouble of change comes from. It's not the change itself. It's the fear that we have got to adapt. Can we adapt? Can I get used to my mom not being here, my dad not being here? Divorce causes change in kids, scares them horribly. What if my dad don't love me anymore? What if my mom doesn't see me anymore? What if my son goes out and gets in a car wreck? Change, the fear that underlies the change, is the problem with change. Change is an inevitable part of life. Today is April 15th. It's snowing outside in Michigan. People are griping about this. Believe me, I've heard it all day. But the weather changes. It keeps coming. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 40s. It changes. It's a part of life. Fear is the drive. How we react to change depends on how we deal with our fear. Fear you've got to underline. When we get older, how do we deal with getting older? Can I accept the gray in my beard and my hair? A few extra pounds here and there? Can I accept that that's just kind of part of life? If not, then what do I do to counter that fear? I may diet, I may dye my hair, I may exercise like crazy, but I'm using that fear to help me deal with the change. But if you let fear paralyze you, if you let it stop you, it will. Fear loves to stop you and use the word change as its adversary. It's like, oh, I rent a house. I don't know if I want to buy a house. Too much risk. I have to be responsible for everything. But then you don't get the privilege of owning a house. If you let fear stop you, the privileges of painting it the colors you want to, the fear of going after that job, well, if you change jobs, you don't know that job exactly. You may not be good at it. That's fear's voice in the face of change. You got to learn to recognize when change is coming and change is happening every day. It's okay. It's part of life. You need to embrace the changes that come. But remember, when you start getting anxiety and stress and reaction to change, I guarantee you it's being based in that voice of fear, something you're afraid of. That's where you need to look at if you want to deal with change and your anxiety around it. Look to the fear, figure out how to conquer that fear, and change will not be so much of a problem. Till next time.